How's everybody doing this Tuesday?
Fine and dandy. Thank y'all for
Fine and
joining
Dan.
us.
Yes, thank y'all for joining us. It's chilled out a little bit here in Florida. Uh,
It's kind of cooling off up here in Kansas City today.
Everybody's taking their pools down. I noticed. So we don't do that.
Already.
Yeah, we don't do that all here. So, oh hey Ruth, how are you doing?
Hey, Miss Ruth, how you doing, sugar?
Let me see if I can share this and tag a few people while I'm at it. So, I think that was my phone just going off saying that I got a notification.
Hey, yeah, Miss Ruth says she got her notification. Ain't that fabulous?
No, that was a text message that I was getting, and it was some Asian lady or something. It's like, "Hi, John, it's Helen. Are you my date?" And I don't know if I can.
What the hell?
And it's like, "Here's a picture of me. Do you see it?" And then it just messaged me again like 4 hours later. Sorry, I looked it up and I entered the wrong number. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
they're
doesn't sound like,
fishing.
that doesn't sound like a scam, does it?
They're fishing. Get up and lay down. Puppy dog wants to be part of the show today.
Oh
We
well,
got a lot of shit to talk about.
no kidding. I can't. This has been a crazy. We weren't on last week, so this has been a crazy couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, it's been insane. Absolutely insane. Mind blowing stuff is going on. Hey Miss Evelyn, how you doing?
How's it going, Miss Evelyn? See you up there. So I guess, but
Well, I'm
so,
glad you made it here anyway.
um, how about that plane disappearing?
I haven't heard a whole lot about it. I've been taking a media break because I'm been choking on the bullshit.
I heard they found debris north of Charleston, north of where it was supposedly at, like 80 miles away from where the pilot ejected at. Of
So,
course, we're not going to hear much about it, but
so exactly, give me the lowdown on it.
there's not much that they've released about it except for it was a Marine training flight out of Charleston, I think, and then the pilot ejected, and that's about all I've heard about it. Other than them looking for the plane and trying to get the community or the people to help find the plane, which I find it, I know it's a stealth, but I wonder what could have caused. And then if it flew, they said it flew another 80 miles, and they said that is very possible on autopilot. This was watching on like Fox News or something and speaking about a retired jet fighter pilot. So, they're saying it could fly for that long, but if it is what makes me wonder if it was on autopilot and still flying for 80 miles, then why did the pilot have to eject? Because they're not going to say why the pilot ejected. So I'm pretty sure of that.
So AI hijacked the airplane from them.
I don't know if it was, could have been computer failure, I guess. I guess he could have been in a tailspin,
Oh well,
going. But
you
I mean,
don't, you can't eject doing that because the plane will smack you.
yeah. So, I mean, but they don't say anything about what the pilot, about any of it. So, which doesn't
And if
surprise
it
me.
was a stealth, I mean, yeah, I'm with you, Miss Evelyn, Miss Ruth. It's fishy shit. I'm going
Yeah,
to tell you
real
that
fishy.
is stinking. Especially since they said they found debris from it. How much debris? Because that's a big plane.
They're
That ain't
big.
no
They're not.
little thing.
Them F-35s are pretty small. I mean, they're not huge. Let
It's
me
not
see.
like a Cessna.
No, it's not a Cessna. you know, but
Yeah,
it's not an air.
debris from a Cessna, you can understand you're finding bits and pieces here and there and yonder.
But it's not a jetliner either. So is what I was saying. So
So, I mean, if you're flying an F, whatever it was, you know they've got special fuel in that, and it's going to go kaboom. You're just not going to find just debris. You're going to hear a kaboom.
See, I was trying. Let me see. I might be okay. Here's something that one of our friends we know shared yesterday that was kind of funny.
Weird question. Has anyone happened to see an F-35 anywhere? Hey, what? You lost one! I didn't lose it. I just can't find it right now. You know, you weren't this upset the last time I lost a nuclear weapon. I can only imagine how much shit you'd give me if I happen to lose one of my 5th-gen aircraft. Yeah, it's a little bit easier to lose one when you have more than 6. I have 10 airframes. Oh, yeah? Fly them in formation right now, all 10 of them. Oh, okay, then shut it the fuck up. The adults are talking. All right. How did you lose one? It was flying, something went wrong, pilot ejected, plane kept going. No fair, I was gonna go rogue. Can I intercept him? I'd intercept him. That's gonna be a big no. This hangar's a fucking prison! I really have to get with the Air Force Chaplain Corps to get you leveled out. Anyways. Oh shit, he means us. Yeah, what's up? Please explain to me how I can lose one of the most advanced aircraft that have ever existed. Well, you wanted something powerful, so he's got some beams up underneath the hood. You wanted something stealth, so you can't see him. And you wanted something really smart. So apparently after it had a couple of kids, it decided, I'm an independent airframe, and I don't need no man to tell me where to go. Sweet Christ, I'm going to have to ask the public to help. Where was the last place you saw it? The Carolinas. So right now, either A, nobody has seen it, or B, there's a bunch of drunk rednecks inside a shed right now building the fastest, most stealth bass boat that has ever existed. Or C, the autopilot took over and he's going wherever he wants to. I'm going to Disney! I'm going to tell him about the bear.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know who come up with that, but I mean, that's fabulous.
I got it off of Dean's. Dean shared it, so that's where I got it from.
That's just fabulous. I love it. I love it.
And then at the end of it, it says, I'm going to Disney, and who's going to tell him about the bear? I don't know if you heard or not, but they had to shut down.
Oh, the three-legged bear.
No, that was a different bear.
Oh, that was a different bear. Okay.
Yeah, there's more than one bear here in Florida. But yeah, there was a bear spotted around Magic Kingdom, or maybe I forget where it was, but there was a bear spotted, so they had to close down part of the park to get the bear out. So that was a different bear. That was the White Claw bear. That was Tripod.
Oh my gosh.
That's the bear that came and stole the 6-pack or stole the pack of White Claw out of the.
It was party time.
Okay.
He was just a little thirsty.
Well, I guess it is Florida, so.
Like I said, it's just some incredibly insane crap that's going on. Leaked out this week that Hunter has been living in the White House advising his father. So now we not only have a crackpot running the country, we got a crackhead advising him.
I haven't seen anything about him living there now, but I know he was staying there, so it wouldn't surprise me. Y'all don't have any cameras over there, so, you know.
Well, if they can't figure out who dropped a baggie full of cocaine.
That's what I'm saying. If they, they don't have any cameras over there, so they can't see what's going on.
Over in the West Wing, where everybody has to be searched except family members of the president.
Well, they might lax those laws too soon, just like they did in the Senate.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to have an Oregon in D.C. Seattle, West goes east. Okay, sure.
You heard about them relaxing the dress code for the Senate meetings now.
What, they're starting a nudist colony?
No, it's to let Fetterman wear his
hoodie
and his gym shorts to Senate hearings.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So they're doing away with the parliamentary procedures dress code.
The dress code, yeah. Everybody else except for the senators have to wear, proper clothing. But
Well, damn it to hell, I'm going to run for the Senate, and I'm going to run for the Congress, and hopefully I win one of them.
yeah, I want to know where else you can work without a dress code, really, unless, well, I mean, even if you're doing dirty movies, you still kind of have a dress code, so I don't think
Well,
you can.
I wouldn't know shit about that.
Well, I doubt you can go up and do a whole nudie movie in a suit, so without ever taking anything off or unzipping anything, or
TMI, sir. TMI.
I'm just saying,
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no more.
Oh.
Let's see. Well,
I'm just having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that Hunter's advising his father. No wonder his father's up on stage saying, "I have to do what he says. They'll tell me where I have to go." Home, Joe. Home. Go home.
I can't believe anybody would still think that he's competent enough to run for president.
Well, the Democrat Party is starting to shake in their boots because so much mess is coming out about the Obamas, about Pelosi.
I think part of it's about that, but I think a lot of it is just that's what people get when they start digging deeper into it. Not even if they watch the news or anything about it. But whenever this stuff's, like I said, this stuff's hitting them in the pocketbook now. It's hitting them at home now. Before, it was like, yeah, let everybody be free. Yeah, let everybody across the border. Everybody deserves to live the American dream. And now it's like, what the heck do we do with this many damn immigrants?
Yeah, well, of course. It's getting cold in New York. It's cold in D.C. Where are they going to go when they start kicking them out of their hotel rooms that they're paying $400 and $500 a night for? That they've already destroyed the hotel.
Well, one lady was also talking about whenever she went and left the left, or left the woke, is what she said. Was she was in college, and of course she said at college is all about being liberal. She was very liberal and lived in a women's only dorm. And I don't know exactly how the rooms were arranged to where they didn't see each other, but she said that she didn't have a roommate. Then she got assigned a new roommate, and she kept noticing stuff that would be from a man in the bathroom, and found out that her roommate she shared the bathroom with was a transsexual woman.
Well, you saw the Swift advertisement I shared with you earlier this week.
I've seen that a couple of times on trucker boards already. So, but she went and was like, I'm paying to live in a women's only dorm. I don't feel comfortable with a man living here, sharing a bathroom with me. And they're like, well, we don't judge against anybody because
excuse
for
me,
their safety. And she was like, well, what about my safety? And
well, I don't know if you've heard the Senate congressional hearing on how many transgenders are in the female prison system and how many pregnancies are coming up.
Oh yeah.
From
I was watching about that, and they were digging into that person because they were like, we told you, or we gave you information that you're supposed to, that of the questions you'd be asked. You don't think you would be asked this question? Because all she could say was, I'll get back to you. And then
I don't know. And then she did start coming up with some numbers, like, is it 50, 10, 100? Well, close to 100, sir.
So these are men, biological men in your prisons as women.
Saying they're women.
And you're just allowing it.
How
Sure.
many pregnancies are there? 65?
I didn't watch enough, I guess, to see how many pregnancies.
I did.
But I've
I
seen
did
that
65
happening.
pregnancies of the prisoners in that wing, in that prison, since they've been in there, and they had no outside exposure other than from other inmates.
Must be correction officers then.
Don't know. But when the lights go out, who
Yeah,
knows what goes on?
yeah. I think that's worse in women's prisons than men, to be honest with you.
Yep.
I think women get more friendly with each other in prison than men do, to be honest with you.
Well, if you got some transgenders in there that are fakers, yeah.
I don't think it matters if they're transgender or not. I think it's. I've seen some of the stories and some of the videos of women's prisons and heard stories from other corrections officers of women's prisons. And
Yeah, but a woman can't get another woman pregnant. I don't give a damn who
no,
you
I
are.
wasn't talking about the pregnancy. I was talking more about the.
Well, that's what I was talking about. I wasn't going down the dirty trail with you.
I was talking about how much more likely it is for women to have sex in prison than men, even though it's the men that are. It's always looked down about like that, just because of the fact, I guess, that most men consider that not something that they want to.
An exit-only event.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's where the sagging pants down around your ass comes around.
I don't think you would even be allowed to do that. At least in Florida, I don't think that'd be part of your uniform.
No, that's where it came from.
I know what you're saying and where it come from, but I think that's like an against uniform here in Florida, and that's probably, I'm sure that's why,
I think it should be against uniform every damn where, because, if they can't put the damn pants up over their asses, I damn sure don't want to see what color their underwear is. And I know their mama tried to teach them how to dress themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it as much anymore as I used to. I'll say that.
Oh, no, I still see it. Unfortunately,
and I still want to know
see it.
Why you going to run from the cops whenever your pants are sagging down like that?
Because they're stupid.
I mean,
there ain't no way in hell you can do a full-out run with your damn drawers falling off your ass.
You already run out of your shoes, so,
That's just because they don't know how to tie them.
I mean,
if you can't dress yourself and you can't put your shoes on, well, you're in trouble. But that's what we're dealing with. I mean, you were telling me about the kids that stole the damn car and run over somebody.
Hey, Joe. Yeah, I mean, that this is from
what do they think they're doing? Playing video games? Hit the reset button. Let's do it again. Oh, dumbasses.
Brandon Tatum's thing talking about it, and it was a retired police chief, and he's retired police, so
they run over a retired police chief.
Yeah.
I just wonder if they knew it was, because then that comes down to premeditated murder there.
Yeah, I don't know if they knew it was or not. I don't know if they were that smart, to be honest with you.
Well, you're not real smart if you go out and steal a damn car to start with.
Yeah, so you probably don't know too much, but yeah, here was.
And folks, if you're squeamish, look away.
They block out the first part, so.
Run that car off of the road.
Stop talking.
Recording themselves doing it.
Dumbasses. Run a red light on top of that. Blowed the horn and they're like, oh my God.
Parts flying off the car.
Oh my God. This is not a fucking video game, folks.
I mean,
this is not a video game, folks. These kids. Oh my God. They got their viral video. That's what they were looking for, I bet you.
so now this is actually something new that I just saw when I was looking up the Las Vegas news page. And it says now that the passenger has also been charged with arrested with the murder charges and hit and run bicycle killing.
Oh my God. They need to charge him.
I guess they have the other story down right now where they're talking about him getting charged, period. So the first guy getting charged.
Wow. That's oh my God. Guys out exercising or trying to go somewhere and he gets run over by a couple of teenagers trying to make a video.
And that happened in August. And you're just now hearing about it at the middle of September.
Well, there goes some more of that Mockingbird media.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And can you imagine if that would have been two white kids still in a car and running over, Las Vegas, a Hispanic person, period? That was pure murder.
Oh yeah, it had been blowed all out of proportion.
That
should have been aired.
Yeah,
but it's like that guy that murdered his son down there in Polk County, Florida. He did it with a grinder.
Polk County's known for.
Hush.
Polk County has a wide variety of people living there. I'll say that.
Now, this 16-year-old boy, and he was 16, was staying at his grandparents' house, helping take care of them because one of them was in the hospital having surgery. The granddaddy walks out to the camper trailer with the little boy, with the young man staying. His daddy walks out and said, "Don't go in there. I just murdered my son." This guy is wanted in 6 states. Has a warrant. Grant you it's a misdemeanor in South Carolina. And he just takes off walking. His grandfather walks in there. It's a mess. He took a cutting disc. Didn't have a gun.
I think he's a felon, so.
He's a felon now.
Well, he definitely is now. But it says he has a long history of drug use and all kinds of other nice stuff.
Yep. So we know with all that drug use, he ain't right up here. That elevator is way glitchy.
Yeah.
But my question is, seeing as how this young man is 16 years old, he is not an adult. Is this man going to be charged with murder or an unauthorized abortion?
Well, I guess that depends on what state you're in. But in Florida, you're going to be charged with murder. So.
Well, yeah, everybody's screaming about abortion rights up to and after the birth.
Liberals don't know how to, or leftists don't know how to answer that whenever you ask them about abortion after birth. That gets them into
they don't have a limit on how long after. If you get a teenager and you don't like them, you can take a cutting disc to him, I guess, like this fella thought. Shoot, when they started putting those baby drop boxes in Nebraska at the hospitals, people were taking their teenagers to the emergency room and dropping them off and saying, "Here, take them."
Juvenile probably wouldn't keep them.
No, these are grown parents taking their children to the emergency room and dropping them off. Here, take them. I don't want them.
I might be able. I mean, I might be willing to do that with one of my kids.
You take stuff and you take it to the extreme.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the problem with abortion now, is because from whenever I remember with abortion, is everybody was still fighting left and right over abortion. So, and then somewhere like New York went and made it to where you could have an abortion up until a full, yeah, see.
Yeah.
So
teenage years are difficult.
They went out and made it to where you could have an abortion up to, and even up to birth is whenever they started doing that. Then states like Florida come back and wanted to pass the heartbeat law. So it was 6 weeks. So it was kind of
21 days.
Huh?
A baby has a heartbeat at 21 days.
Well, they made it 6 weeks. So anyway, so then that was that extreme. So then you just had an all-out war going off over abortion. Whenever having an abortion after birth or even during birth is way too extreme, because, you know, they're like, well, it's just a clump of cells and shit like that. Well, if you can have a C-section or be induced into labor and that baby come out alive
and breathe and cry,
yeah, it's damn not just sure, or you can't say that it's still your body. It's not human. Choice, you know.
I mean, I've heard of children being born as early as 4 months along in a pregnancy, and they stay in NICU for 3 or 4 months and being normal kids.
Well, I mean, then that's whenever they come up. I mean, the arguments that I see mostly of crazy liberals anyway, and for one, they'll come up and say they're going to bring up some kind of a medical problem at first. That's the first thing they're going to do, is bring up, well, some people are going to die if they have to carry their baby. Well, if you're going to die if you get pregnant, then maybe you should get your tubes tied or something. Maybe you should get something done to where you can't have any more babies, because it's a risk to your life if you're going to have a kid or not have sex anymore. You know,
me personally, I was told and advised, because I had so many problems with my last pregnancy. I was advised, do not get pregnant again. What did I do? I did the responsible thing. I had a tube ligation. I stopped having children because it was going to put my life in jeopardy.
So if that's the case,
would I change my mind and have an abortion just because it's jeopardizing my life? No.
Well, I'm saying, if that's how you feel about it, if it's such a health risk to you to getting pregnant, and by then they'll go on to the thing about saying, well, it's, what if I'm not ready to have a kid? What if I don't want? Well, then maybe you should quit having raw sex with everybody,
Yeah.
And,
protect
of course,
yourself.
That
Make
brings
sure
on
your partner's protected.
To where saying that
there are some things. Look, there's some things penicillin won't kill, folks.
And
just saying.
Then it'll come on to the questions will get on. Well, when is the wrong time? Well, how late is too late? And then it'll be like, well, that's not up to me to decide. And it's like, yeah, but you're fighting for this. How late is too late? And they're like, up to birth. Well,
yeah. Some of them say, yeah, even after birth, which,
that's
brings in that question.
But one of the things they'll say also is it's because the alternative would be, then instead of having abortion, if you can't afford the baby, give it up for adoption. and they think the foster care system and the adoption system are the same thing, and they are
That
totally
they are
different.
not totally
So
different.
they have no clue about that because they're like, I don't want to take my baby into I wouldn't want to give a baby into the foster system because that's as good as death, is what some of them
No,
will say. Well, there are
no.
thousands of people out there just waiting to adopt a newborn baby. My brother's one of them.
And they're willing to pay for it too.
Yeah, well, they have to pay for.
They have to pay for all the mother's needs and their medical care and everything.
Some of that, I don't think they have to for that. I think it's if they find somebody pregnant that's willing to adopt, they can offer that. But I know a lot of times in the adoption system, it's completely random. Not random, but it's kind of like a donors list, I guess you would say.
Well, and you have to look at it. All these kids that are being born to these addict mothers that are immediately taken away from them because they tested positive for the drug that their mother was taking.
Yeah.
That's an immediate termination of parental rights right there.
But I think on stuff like that, you can still get your kids back.
No, you can't.
Maybe, I don't know about that. And
certain states say if that child is born and it is it can be tested positive for that drug, their parents' parental rights are immediately terminated.
I mean, it doesn't bother me none. I don't think it should be for any illegal drug, but
Ms. Ruth says they can get them back.
Okay.
Like I said, some states.
That's what I was saying about going in, because then the kid would get put into the foster system because the parents would be able to get them back. But once you're in the adoption system, your parents can't ever get you back. So,
well, if some women will not give up the drugs.
Oh, a lot of women won't give up the drugs. I know a lot. I've seen tons of them that won't give up the drugs, but they don't want to give up their child either. So
that's just one of those issues that it's an individually based circumstance that everybody has to go through. Miss Ruth says they give them 1 year.
Okay.
And I can see that, but if the parent leaves the hospital and there's no contact and they don't get any services and they go right back to the same thing, nah, I don't need them.
I agree with you on that.
And in my book, my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion, that if a woman gives birth to more than one or more than 2 kids and she's an addict, she needs to be automatically sterilized. And that's going to start a fight somewhere.
All you got to do is,
because I have a sibling, male sibling, that was an addict. His whole life, he was an addict. My sister-in-law took the kids and left. The court gave him visitation rights, even while he was still doing drugs. The son, my nephew, developed the same habit. They both died.
Oh, I mean,
some addicts never give it up.
No, you're right. Some addicts don't,
So I'm sorry, but if you don't love that child enough to get off of the shit, stay off of the shit, and you have another child after the state's already taken one child, you don't need to have the right to have any children. You don't. Because you brought 2 kids into this world and you ain't taking care of every one of them.
I just saw a terrible story here.
Oh, we got so many of them terrible stories.
Oh, no, this one's bad.
Well, we can't get it too bad. We get in trouble.
No, this is After fentanyl at New York City daycare kills one-year-old, 3 other tots OD'd, feds bring charges. I guess is what it's saying is they had a daycare also being run as a trap house.
Yeah, that's really, really bad. It's hard to find a dependable daycare.
It says officials from the New York City Police Department said Monday they recovered a kilogram of fentanyl at the daycare, which was stored underneath the mat at the facility near where children usually take naps.
Jesus. Why? Why?
Now, that's just the one you hear about, Ruth. They OD.
Yep.
It's amazing at how much you see people like watching watching cop shows even. Some places will have 2 or 3 of them a night.
Yeah.
I've seen them in places
but
some of these shows to where they go up and they'll have an OD, and while they're dealing with that OD, they'll have somebody come yelling that somebody else across the parking lot's ODing.
Oh yeah, I mean, and then what's Biden do? He goes in and he establishes these centers where addicts can go and they can shoot up. So if they OD, they can be saved, and we have to pay it. No. No.
Kensington, Philadelphia. That's like supposed to be the heart of
Yep.
fentanyl. And if you go and look at a place that looks like people have died, well, shoot, you know what? Right here, look at this. This is a live stream from Kensington.
I'm almost scared to see this. Yeah. And the bad thing is some of these neighborhood Walmart stores that I deliver to, it looks just like that outside of them.
I mean,
that's a live feed, folks. Look around. Hit these live street cameras.
And this looks like it says Faith Hope Charity Cam 2 down at the bottom. So this is probably from you can tell this guy in the brown over here, he's doing something. These people, I mean, look how this isn't even where we were looking at before, Sally, to where they actually go and sweep the streets every night. Yeah. They don't even do that here.
Yeah. Now I've been down some of those streets and it's totally, absolutely disheartening.
I mean,
it just breaks your heart at what has been allowed to happen to our cities and our towns and our communities and basically the entire country.
Well, I think a lot of people are waking up now. Stuff like this, how the hell do you even clean up like this? Clean up all this stuff?
And how many of those are actually migrants too? That have left the hotel rooms and just started wandering around that, have been lost in the system.
I wouldn't say in somewhere like Kensington, on Kensington Avenue, it probably isn't that many migrants because that place is so overfilled already. I mean, as far as what they're doing.
But the New York streets are already looking like that.
Yeah, New York. I would think New York looks like
Chicago
that.
Chicago streets are looking like that.
Chicago streets are bad already, so I'd be afraid to go to Chicago anyway.
DC streets look like
DC
that.
DC the same way,
So, I mean, why do we have places that we can't even afford to rent?
Yeah, that's
rent should never go over 1/4 of the base minimum wage for a 40-hour week.
Yeah, right. That's not gonna
Really and
happen.
truly.
That's
Now,
never gonna happen.
if you rent a place, you're looking at, $1,500 to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month.
Well, you're looking at $1,500 a month just to rent a place here. Not
And
to
that's
mention,
just a 1 or 2 bedroom.
and I mean, hey, just me. I was talking about you earlier. I had to show your lost F-35 video you put up about the talking to the other countries about losing the F-35. So earlier.
Oh yeah, that was classic. I love that. Loved it, loved it.
Maybe it's a way of shutting down inflation in a way when you dump all these people that are willing to work for nothing, and you've
But
given
those
them all
people
work
are not
permits.
willing to work.
Well, they're saying they are right now. They're saying they are willing to work, but just being blocked.
The migrants may be.
That's what I'm saying. The migrants would be willing
But
to
do
work.
you know that last month alone, they finally come out with the statistics? There was 150 plus people. I'm thinking it was like 159 people who were on the terrorist watch list that got pushed that come across our borders and got pushed on the buses. I was on a fuel aisle last night. One of the migrant buses was right next to me on the fuel
I saw
aisle.
your pictures of that. So, and it was out of Illinois too, to be honest with you. I looked at the tagging on it, and it was out of Illinois. So
there's a DOT number on it, folks. If you go to my Facebook page, look it up. It was on last night. I got fuel there. And when I got back in the truck, it was like,
and
son of a bitch.
I know y'all.
And they
you've been talking
got
about it for a long time, but they were interviewing the migrants and stuff too. That they were literally, like you've said before, just dropped off at some Dollar General or something in the middle of nowhere.
And they get dropped off at truck stops all the time.
Yeah, truck stops. They were talking about. I mean, that's what they were saying was they were doing this all over the place. So no telling how many migrants. They're we got another busload of migrants coming into Chicago, and they're trying to blame it all on Abbott. I love how they're trying to blame it all on Abbott.
They're trying to say now, no migrant out of Texas, no migrant out of Texas. Texas is a big state. New York can't handle the extra migrants. Well, what the hell do you think about Texas? It's a big damn state, but I'm going to guarantee you they've got more than their fair share, folks. I promise.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's whenever the stupidity.
And Oklahoma's filling up too.
And they're like, "Hey, you're a sanctuary city. This is what you wanted." And then now everybody's like,
all these blue cities that are sanctuaries.
And now they're going to
get filled up.
Their minds like crazy too. And see, Chicago's got more of a fight than that on its hand because they've got so much crime already that everybody's leaving. And everybody's sick of now they're like, "Hey, governor," or "Hey, mayor, what you said you would fix all this. Now we got Walmart leaving, Aldi closed, this store closed. We have to go to the other neighborhoods to get food."
Well, it's not just that when Walmart closes, there's a company coming in. They're subcontracting the vacant buildings, and they're turning it into children for migrants.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've seen that.
And they've got people now. The whistleblower who was in New York, he's coming out. He said he's worked in Houston. He's worked in Phoenix. He's worked in Seattle. He's taking, and they fly them, they bus them all over the United States. And the kids have been here so long and they have been shuttled back and forth from one facility to the next. They will sit there and discuss which facility is their favorite one.
I believe that. I don't have any problem believing that. That's the government at work for you right there.
So when they got 85,000 missing kids,
that's what I'm saying.
All it is they're moving them around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't surprise me. It's probably more I mean, 85,000 is the only number we've heard, and there's been tons and tons and tons more coming across it. So,
Yeah. Unaccompanied minors. And there was one case that the whistleblower was talking about. He come across with his mother and his sister. They went to one shelter. Then his sister and him were moved during the day to another facility. They don't know what happened to his mother. Then after a few weeks there, he lost his sister. He doesn't know where any of his family is. They've all been separated.
I mean, it really doesn't surprise me, though. I mean, you got to think about how bad airports are in general about stuff like that, about losing stuff. And you're talking
But they
about.
are in cages, just me. They are in cages. That's
He's
the
being a
thing.
smart ass. He's being a smart ass.
I know, but they are in cages. It's called a Walmart vacant building. They're not allowed outside of them unless they're being moved. You know where they swap them off at? Luggage checkpoints. Wherever you go into an airport, they pick them up where the luggage is claimed. Same thing at a bus station. Really? That's human trafficking. No wonder Joe Biden and his son are asshole and eyeball deep in bed with Ukraine. The neo-Nazi bastards.
Zelensky's got dirt on Joe Biden, or the Biden family is what it is.
Of course, he's laundering money for them.
I mean,
he's got to be. All this money Joe Biden is sending over there, guess who it's coming back to? Anybody who was funding weapons for the war.
It would surprise me if it was more than that. Just to be. I mean, no telling what all they've got.
The bank records ain't lying. 200. It was over 250 some cases that bank accounts that Joe Biden and Hunter Biden got flagged by the feds.
Well, that's what
people. We got to stop this.
Well, that's what the impeachment's going to bring. I think and plus the impeachment is going to go for longer than Joe Biden's going to be still in office anyway, and they're going to try to turn this around all kinds of different ways. But the impeachment is a way for us to dig more dirt up on Joe Biden and have proof.
Let's get it right. It's the impeachment inquiry.
Okay, the inquiry. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
But I'm going to tell you what. That's nothing but a damn dog and pony show. Because I was watching, and another podcaster brought it to my attention. Mr. McCarthy was doing an interview about the Maui fires. You remember that $700 they got?
Yeah.
While we're trying to send billions to Ukraine. Well, think back when we were all getting our stimulus checks. $700 in stimulus is what he just threw in Maui's face that they're probably going to charge them for when they do their taxes. So they're not really getting any help from the United States.
I don't know if you have to.
They're going to have to pay that back.
You might have to pay it back in. I don't know. My mom's gotten money from FEMA before, but
that didn't come from FEMA. It just came from the federal government. It didn't come from FEMA.
Oh, okay. I don't
know. No, Miss Ruth, it was per person.
No, she's saying that $700.
If it was, I don't know. I don't know the particulars. But when Kevin McCarthy was standing up there in his pretty little blue shirt, giving his little speech about how they wanted to help the residents of Maui, it was brought to my attention that there was a little logo right here of an owl. Well, that owl is trademarked by the Bohemian Brotherhood in California. And only members can buy the shirts with the logo. Guess who is in the Bohemian Brotherhood? Those are the power elites that get together and have their little parties and whatever they do in their super secret spot that Alex Jones keeps trying to infiltrate. Actually did infiltrate. You know, Alex Jones, the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kevin McCarthy's in it up to his eyeballs.
Yeah.
So all this impeachment inquiry, guess what? It's all of the horse and pony show.
Oh yeah, that's definitely why they hate Alex Jones. He knows way too
You're
much.
absolutely right, Miss Ruth. He's always in it up to his eyeballs investigating. He's going out and getting the truth.
Yeah.
So now that we know that the Bohemian Brotherhood, Good Old Boys Association, is actually running our country, we should all be scared. Not only do we have the Bohemian Brotherhood in the government, we got a crackhead telling a crackpot what to do as an advisor. What the hell? You know, we need to start something. And Chad and I, we've been juggling this around for a little while. I had an epiphany one night and run it by him. He thought it was a good idea. We're going to start the Sparkle Fuck Award.
I had a Sparkle Fuck too, and I was gonna let me see if I saved it. Did you have one in mind for tonight?
No, I don't have one in mind tonight because there are just so many. But I'm going to tell you what, every week we need to nominate somebody for a Sparkle Fuck Award. It's like, what the hell were you thinking? What the sparkle fuck were you thinking? You know, there's a podcaster out there, I don't know his name. He comes up with that, and I thought it was just so freaking cool.
Dang, and I had one, and I guess I didn't save it. It must have been
Anybody who gets hold of a video, sort of like that Just Me video that he shared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an epiphany blower, mind blower right there. That would be a candidate for a Sparkle Fuck Award.
I had one
You
that
just got it just too much twisted. But then there's also the boys who were stupid enough to steal a car and run over a police chief, a retired police chief. You know, that's a Sparkle Fuck Award nominee right there.
I don't know. That's a, I don't know what kind of fuck you'd call that. But
dumb fuck.
Definitely a dumb fuck. I've been watching a lot of these police videos of people getting arrested and stuff, but most of them are too long. But you talk about
it just never ceases. It just blows your mind at how stupid people are becoming.
I mean,
but you know what? I'm proud of all our podcasters, all of our Instagram people who are coming out, who were blowing people up and out of the water, trying to wake people up.
Yes, and there's a bunch of them now too. There is.
I am so proud of y'all.
They've got a whole website now with following on. I think all the major platforms of people just putting up videos why I left the left.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are younger people starting to do it. And they're like...
They're starting to wake up.
Well, okay. We might go over a little bit just watching some of this. Well,
throw it up there. Let's watch it. We've been a little light on the videos tonight. We've just been chit-chatting and talking.
This is way too long. Well, I'll throw up a review of us reviewing it because some of these people did it better than. Let's see, this was something I might have mentioned to you, but
Well, whether you mentioned it or not, just throw it up there. I'm going to tell you. I'm so proud of our podcasters out there who woke up and are waking up and seeing the light. I mean, I'm just proud of you. I'm proud of the people who are trying to step up in their communities and start becoming leaders, good leaders, who are going out with the statistics and the facts. And I'm waiting on you, Chad. I'm trying not to have too much dead air on this time.
I get you. Was just trying to fast forward and find the right spot. This is from a gay guy here in Florida that goes by Curly Boy Chuck. It's his review. It's his review of a Jubilee, which if you've never watched a Jubilee, they get up two opposing sides and get them to talk to each other and meet on a middle ground, I guess you'd say. Now, This was gay conservatives and gay liberals.
Go Curly Burr.
But in fact, one of the guys I watched was actually on there, and these liberals would not shut up. There's even a cross-dressing gay conservative on there, and they still wouldn't shut up talking shit to him.
Well, throw Curly Boy up there and let's watch what he has to say.
React to fully, and that is the third prompt, which is LGB should be separated from the TQ. I say yes, 1000%. So let's see what they say.
The LGB should be separated from the TQIA+.
Let's go.
Saying they should be separated is not saying that one is, less important.
Yeah.
So I do want to start with that. But I do think that the LGB is very specific, rooted in science. It's very clear as day. You have lesbian, gay, and bi. Main difference between male and female, we all know what that is.
The reason why I stepped forward with hesitation was because I think that there are such lived differences and experiences that we experience. Although collectively, I think that we all know the collective experience of being a sexual deviant. There just is a difference in lived experience that I think is important to talk about and acknowledge, and that's my grounds for agreeing with perhaps a separation.
Mine is very different. To be clear, the science is very solid on identities other than gender assigned at birth being valid. Science is very clear, robust. There is no question that it's legit. We, as cisgender people, do a really bad...
Pause. The science is not cut and dry, my friend. I'm sorry. That is a liberal talking point, and that's garbage. The science is clear that there is a binary. There is male, there is female, there is XX, and there is XY. That is the science. That's called biology. Now, I understand that there are intersex people in this world. I get it. But intersex people are a very small minority. I've said that a million times on my channel because I already know that somebody in this debate is going to bring intersex people up. I'm pretty sure of it. However, 99% of the population is born either male or female. So for this man to say the science backs it up, there are more than two genders. No, there's not. And you can't really even have a discussion with somebody with that perspective because it's pretty clear based on how he is even presenting his argument that he's not willing to listen to anybody else. If he truly believes that the science supports more than two genders, again, let's take intersex out of this for a second. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but that's just inaccurate. And that is literally rejecting science to say that the science supports multiple genders. It does not. Politics.
Amen.
I'll say two things. I guarantee you intersex is a lot less than 99%, but he's just given a...
Well, I caught a phrase in there called the cisgen.
Yeah.
I have been called a cisgen. I don't know what the hell a cisgen is.
That means you are a natural born woman. That is what they call people that are born and stick to their assigned gender.
Well, that works.
So that's what a cisgen is.
Okay. Well, I don't have to go back and whoop their
supports
ass.
multiple genders. The money that is being made by medical professionals and providers supports that perspective because they're making money. There is money to be made in gender reassignment surgery. So yeah, I don't trust those doctors who have the perspective that
Let's see.
they're
Oh.
their body. Because there's a clear difference. And the only way that you excuse that type of behavior is by having the perspective that he has that the science supports all of this confusion. It does not. Science is very clear. Let's keep watching.
Do a really bad job of standing up for people who aren't cisgender. I call out the fact that cisgender queer people are treated differently than non-cisgender queer people. And until we do better, we don't deserve to have the letters be together.
Much better grounds.
So, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, but I think in general, this conversation can become very hostile because it seems like, you know, I'm like, oh, I don't want you to be a part. Like, I don't want you to be my friend. I don't want to be with you, be next to you, be seen with you. And that's not the case. One is an identity and one is a sexuality.
Yeah.
And that's just the simple difference between the two. Eventually, as both groups are fighting for their own personal interests, those are going to not work cohesively. So one is going to be quieter and one is going to get taken advantage of, et cetera. And it's not that we can't support the TQ plus.
Right.
I just think that they're two vastly different things.
I think that you oversimplify.
Right on, Clarkson. And shout out to Clarkson because we
I-
actually follow each other on TikTok. I like him a lot. He's really funny. So check out his TikTok if you get a chance.
Were you wanting to say something?
I will agree.
Yeah.
The LGB and the TQs are two totally different groups. But I'm telling everybody out there in America, the transgenders are being taken advantage of by the pedophiles. Watch them.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I've even showed a video of a trans guy that posted a video of the same thing. So saying that transgenders and especially the LGB is getting hijacked by pedophiles.
Boom, there you are.
So
Pedophiles got to go.
let me see what.
Those are the first ones to always scream and say that, but yet they want to mesh the two when it comes to these communities. And if you say, no, they should be separate, you're a bigot. Then they wonder why people are always so confused.
You oversimplify identity versus sexuality, though, because there are tons of men who identify as straight who have, on occasion, with regularity, once in their life, sex with men, which is why.
They're bi. I think once with men, sure, experimenting, but I think if there is a guy that's identifying as straight that sometimes dabbles with men,
might identify as straight, but
So,
you're bi.
so two things. First of all, there are lots of gay men that we are allowed that we can call gay all day and all night that occasionally have sex with women. And we don't question whether or not they're gay.
They're bi.
But are you entitled to titling someone else's?
We
Is
are
that up to you?
The title is an objective fact. If
Yeah.
you sleep with men and women, then you are bi.
Feelings versus facts. See the difference?
A lot of what's in the media today is sensationalized content about, you know, targeting children. A lot of it is valid and some of it is not. But a lot of times it's gay men that are doing it and trans people are getting blamed for it when it's really gay men in drag.
Right.
And because the letters are together, people don't know the difference. And even when I first started like coming out, the first thing that somebody said to me was, are you going to transition into a woman? And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with my sexuality. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But because they're together from an outsider's point of view, optically, I think if our goal is to educate the populace on who we are, then we need to make a more clear distinction between LGB and TQ+.
No, I don't disagree. I think it's just important that if we do that, we don't erase any of the validity of the people who are in the group that we're not a part of. And also, what I
Well, I'm sure you can tell what this guy over here is thinking is being a dumbass, but I'm going to fast forward it just a little bit, then we could be done. This is whenever everybody else comes to join.
At Stonewall, I think that's her.
She didn't throw the first break.
Or the second.
She got there at 2 a.m., first of all. And second of all, Marsha P. Johnson was also a gay man. So when she was fighting for those rights, she was fighting for gay rights because she was gay.
Was she a
I
gay man
totally
because of the
agree.
time that it was.
Don't mess with Clarkson.
So long after Stonewall.
Because
I passed one of those
matters.
laws.
No one's
I
thinking it
passed
doesn't
one of those
matter.
laws in Nebraska that protects children under the age of 18 from receiving gender affirming
Oh,
care
yeah.
hormones. Because I've seen.
And you're proud of that.
Yes, I am very proud
I
of
am
that.
so
Yeah, I forgot about that. The cross-dressing guy over here.
Yep.
He works to pass laws to get to ban whatever you call it, procedures on people under 18.
Transgender.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. It's transgender law, transgendering, but it's called something else. So, but yeah.
Because I have friends
So this starts a big argument. This is what I was kind of trying to show, but
who had their first experience with affirming care. Can I finish? But can I finish?
We're sitting here
But
with
can I
because
finish?
the stuff you felt as a child
I'm sure a lot of us
is so
disagree.
Here comes the emotions.
We both have
We
things
can
to say.
all talk, but like let's let
Because
other
when I
finish.
passed this legislation that you say targets LGBT people, I sat next to a young girl who her first experience with this type of care was a double mastectomy at 15. She's now 19, doesn't know
How
if she'll be
common
able
is
to.
that?
It's
It's
actually
not.
very common because
How common? I want a number.
Can
How
I
common?
finish?
How common?
Can I
This
finish?
is you
though?
passed
You're
the law.
asking me a question in the middle
You
of my
passed a
statement.
law. You passed a law that affects so many kids from feeling like
Yes, I
themselves.
did.
Transgender
I'm proud
kids.
of my law.
Oh
That's
God.
unfortunate, and I'm ashamed
If
of
that's
you
what it's going
because.
to take to get you to stop so I can finish my thought, I appreciate that.
All right, you know
So-
what? I'm going to shut up until you finish, but I would really like to say something when you're done.
Sure. The person that I testified with, who their experience was a
The
double
one person.
mastectomy.
Let him
The
finish.
one
Let him finish.
person.
Let him finish.
Are you
Let him
one
finish.
step in? Like
Let
can
him-
we-
One person is too many. If a minor had a mastectomy and then realized it was a mistake because of the agenda and the indoctrination, that's one too many.
Yeah.
Let
can
him
we
finish. Let him finish.
People talk.
Okay, that one person was one person in Nebraska, but I know a plethora of
What
other
state do you live in?
people.
Hold on. Let him finish. Let
I
him
know a
finish.
plethora of other people in other states
The
all over this
generalizations
country
are so easy. I
who
know a
are
plethora of
feeling-
people all over the
who-
country.
Can we not do this? Like what is the what is the can we let them talk? You're gonna get time to talk.
I don't
It's
appreciate
okay.
that.
I know. I'm furious
You-
too, but let's
but
finish.
here's
Let him.
He can't. He's emotional. A liberal.
Just let him. You're gonna get your point out. Just let him.
I'm
talk.
good. Thank you.
Just let him talk.
Okay, let's pause.
You say how many people? You say it's a small subset. But for the people who it affects them for the rest of their lives. A decision they made as a child will affect them for the rest of their lives. This person will never feel their sensation on their chest. They don't know if they're going to ever be able to have a child, and they know they will never be able to breastfeed. They will never be a woman in the regular senses. And this is happening more and more because we're conditioning our young people to say, hey, this is okay. This is okay. You can make these decisions. As a senior in this community, I have to say, wait a second. You guys are kids. Wait till you have your whole lives. Let's talk about this.
Honestly, shame on you for not going after the actual facts. I realize your anecdotal experiences move you, and I respect and appreciate that. But let's be perfectly clear.
Passive aggressive compliments are not compliments. It's just condescending.
The most permanent thing a kid can go through is puberty, first of all. So when you deny a kid the opportunity to pause puberty, we're just talking, first of all, talking about puberty
Which
blockers.
straight kids
Well,
do all the time.
All the
What
time.
the-
It's-
All the time.
Yes, since the 80s, kids have been prescribed puberty blockers for a variety of reasons. And the law you passed prevents that. So you steal from kids who would like to be able to pause the ability to further. Fewer than 3% of people who do any kind of transition regret it and go back. Fewer than 3%. Finally, I want to make this
shit.
very clear.
I don't care if it was fewer than 1%. Like I said, one is one too many. We're talking about children. We're not talking about adults. We're talking about kids. We're talking about 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. And you're sitting here saying, who cares? It's a small minority. The same person who was using the intersex argument, a small minority, to make his bigger point. But now this small minority doesn't matter. I couldn't be on this panel because I would be going off.
I'm not done.
Okay, time out there. I got something to say about this shit. Leave the kids alone. Let
Yes.
them go through puberty. That's part of growing up.
yeah, I watched that whole one, and it was like, well, it obviously it pissed Curly Boy Chuck off, as you can tell, and it was very. They were talking about something in the middle of that show, and they told the guy, this is the guy that was on the panel that I usually watch. And I know we're going over our time, but I'll squeeze
Well,
this one in.
I'm just telling you right now, leave the kids alone. Going through puberty is a necessity.
Yes.
That's when you start learning and defining who you are as a person.
So, well, I won't even play this guy's whole video because he was one of them on there that I do regularly follow. So I was actually kind of glad to see him on there, even though they kept trying to shut him down. But yeah, I mean, it's how much.
These are subjects that we need to be talking about as adults.
Well,
Straight, gay, lesbian, trans, queer. I don't give a shit.
well, that one
We
guy
need to be following these people, finding out what their platforms are, so that we don't know whether we support them or not.
well, that guy's platform that I was just showing, the black guy on the show, that's Amir Odom. He's one of them that's done a total flip flop from complete left winger to waking up and being like, they're fucking us. You know, Curly Boy Chuck, he wasn't on the
He
panel.
was one of them.
And he said that he couldn't even be on that panel if he wanted to be.
Because he'd have to get all it up in their Kool-Aid.
And the guy that was the Mexican guy in high heels, I forget his last name, but I know his first name's Mario. He's usually more of an event person, that he goes and speaks at conservative events for gay people mostly. And, you know, he says he's a drag queen. He's not a transsexual or nothing. He's a drag queen, you know, but he's like, and that's something else they got into a huge argument about. He was like, well, you, transsexuals and stuff are scared to go to all these places. They're going to get killed. And he's like, I walking up and down the streets of Tennessee all the time. He's like, my law got passed in Tennessee with me walking up and down the street. Do you think I felt in trouble? He was like, I felt in trouble from people like you.
That's right. And that's the thing. If you're gay, if you're lesbian, I don't give a shit. That's you. Act like a normal person, but leave the kids alone. Stop trying to transition our children until they get to be adults. Going through puberty is part of growing up. That's when you start learning and defining who you are as a human being in this world.
I see their moronic logic in it, because then it's saying, well, if you don't know what you are, then you need to pause puberty for a minute.
No, you don't. You need to go right on ahead through it.
Yes, that's, yes.
You need to go through it. That's part of growing up. You know, you can be forever 21.
I'm not disagreeing with you on
your entire
whatever.
fucking life. There may be somebody who watches this later on. But I'm just talking to these folks who may watch this later on. You may be wanting to be forever 21 your entire life. But stop trying to force the agenda on our children. Let them go through their puberty. That's when you start learning and defining who you are as a person in life. If you don't go through puberty, you will never, ever know who you were meant to be in life.
Oh.
If you, at that point in time, figure out, hey, look, I'm gay, I'm lesbian, that's fine, I'm queer. Okay. If you feel, and I've known trans people who have transitioned later on in life, and that was the best choice for them because they thought long and hard about it before they ever did it.
And that's
so why the hell are we trying to force our children to do it before they can ever have that opportunity to figure out who they really are?
And I'll say that's what a lot of these all of them gays that was on that panel were fighting for. That's what caused the biggest upset during that whole panel, was that Mario guy talking and saying that children should not be getting transitioned at any age, pretty much, because
they don't need to be. Leave them alone.
Yeah.
Stop trying to persuade them with the extracurricular books that are being pushed into the schools at an early age. That needs to leave quick. We don't need drag queens or other performers in schools when they're in their primary years. Now, if you want them to have them in your high schools, that's something for somebody else.
Even they were, that was another argument they got into. And Amir, the guy that was telling all about how he got on the show. He said that he got interviewed to go on the show. Like 6 months later, they paid for him a ticket to fly to Los Angeles to do the show. He said the show was actually about 6 or 7 hours, but they only took an hour of it. And he was like, I wish they would have put out an unedited version, because I guess there was the two guys, the one guy that looked like a serial killer, gay serial killer or something like that.
Sort of like the Swift ad.
Yeah. But
that screams pedophile to me. I'm sorry.
No, that screenshot is all over the place right now.
Oh my God. But you know, folks, really, we gotta wake up. We have to wake up.
I think people, as Ruth said earlier, I always look on the bright side, but I think people are waking up now. I really do think people are waking up now.
You know, we have been passive for so long.
I mean,
that we have just about lost our country. I mean, this entire show has been pretty much about all the crazy mess, from the crackpot and the crackhead in the White House to the LGBTQ plus whatever letter else they want to throw in. I knew they'd throw another one in there.
Oh, they got tons of them.
You know,
right now. It's like 7 letters, alphabet mob.
The alphabet crew. I mean, wake up. Wake up.
That's the younger people that need to wake up, and they're starting to wake up too. So
figure out who you are as a human.
So
figure out where you stand and plant your feet. Know the facts. Because if you don't know the facts, you're going to be weak. Fight for what you believe in. And I'm not talking about going out and starting an insurrection. But stand up. Stand your ground.
Very much so.
And if you find any of those wonderful videos, send them to us so we can have the Sparkle Fuck Awards started next week.
Yeah, I'll definitely be
them.
looking for videos and be looking at the comments to try to find a Sparkle Fuck for next week.
I know I've gotten some really good videos from our faithful, loyal viewers. And we love you. We love you. Thank you for being with us, Miss Evelyn, Miss Ruth, Dean, Joe. We love you.
Man.
But remember, sometimes in life, you just got to say, truck it.
Truck it. Y'all have a good night, everybody. Thanks for staying and watching with us.